Hey friends, David Burns, good to be with you out in the bee yard where I have some hives that are experimental. But today we just look at a regular Langstroth today. But I've been experimenting with this hive. And this hive I used that special queen isolation frame cage. Had good luck getting the top super pulled out in 6 or 7 days while I had the queen caged. And be sure and watch that video. I'll leave a tip at the end. Where you can get that video and watch it. But today what we're going to do is we're going to look at this super. What we're hoping for is that the queen did not make her way up there and start laying. I'm not much of a fan of queen excluders. And so what I'm going to do today, if I find the queen, I'm going to pick her up, let her walk in the front door. That's going to give her time to get back down into the lower 2 deeps and start laying. Give time for my older bees to start putting more nectar up in the top here. So let's open it up and see where the queen is, hopefully not in the super. I put some grub eggs down around my hives back here. I saw a few more beetles back here than I like to see. Looking for beetles today. Don't see any there. I switched sides. Let me show you why. Look at this. You can see some of the connectivity comb, the burr comb. And so if I pull that frame out first, I'm likely to kind of make a little honey mess over there. But I looked over here and it doesn't show that. So I made the decision to pull this frame up first. The spacing isn't too bad. I'll be honest with you, I think these frames that are made are a little more narrower than a lot of frames. So even though we have an equal gap here and an equal gap there like you're supposed to, it looks like that was enough gap to get bees to make some comb there. So spacing of your, how big frames are made by different companies is real important. Let's just start with this frame over here. So what we're doing is making sure that our queen is not up in our honey super. And if she is, moving her down because that's the management style I've chosen. I've chosen not to run a queen excluder and just battle my queen for territory. Yeah. Slow motion. Okay, let's see what we got here. Ooh, starting to be capped over at the top. Look at that, almost at the right moisture level. So let's leave this one out for a second. Okay. And now we have a chance to scoot all the way across looking for brood. We don't really have to see the queen up here, but we just want to make sure that the bees have beat the queen in putting nectar there before she had a chance to put eggs in there. So what we're going to do is to make this inspection faster is just speed across there. See, I don't need to look at that frame or this one because the one in the centers will be the ones that have brood on them. So we'll look at this one here. Slow motion. Pull it up gently. Sometimes you have brood at the very bottom, but in this one, capped over beautifully and rapidly. These bees made a lot of comb fast and they filled it up with nectar and they actually capped them over quick too. So this is the great hive, great honey producing hive. All my hives this year have been crazy on making so much honey. Pat, you want to take a super home with you?
Okay. Can you get the honey out first?
Bottle it up for you?
Yeah.
Yeah, why not? You're such an asset. There's a lot of jokes that could be said about that, right?
Yeah.
All right, did I already look at this?
I don't know. I can't remember.
I can't either. I feel like I did, but I'm gonna glance at quick. Okay, same thing. All right, so we're gonna look at the next one because it's more in the middle. You know what, let's drag, they're all the same, so let's drag these this way. Oh, that's about as close to the wall I can get. That way I don't have to move them all again. All right, good. If they were different, I might put them back in the same place, but they're all the same. They're all frames of honey. Any brood up above? Oh no, not at all. No, not at all. And I'm gonna look at the next one and show you something that you probably gotta see. Let's get a little smoke going on. Okay. All right, beautiful day today. A little humid, not as hot as the other day. All right. So on this one, no brood except teeny weeny teeny weeny amount of drone brood at the bottom. So the queen got up there a little bit and laid a hairline handful of drone brood. And that's all we got. I can deal with that in extracting, so no problem. So, wow, this is amazing. I'm really excited about how well this all worked out and formulating a plan. And I'm going to tell you about it in just a minute, how I made all this work so great. But meanwhile, let's put this frame back in. This is one that I took off near the wall, I think. I'm just going to slide her right down in here. It will fit in there without hurting bees. But let's go ahead and widen the gap a little bit more. And then we can space it. We can bring it into the frame more as we get closer, but we don't want to kill bees inserting it. So we'll create a bigger space to drop it down in there. All right, here we go. Now we can just lower this frame in. It needs to be filled up a little bit more than the others, so putting it in the middle might speed that up. All right. Got one little bee in the way there. There we go. All right, now we can take our hive tool and make all that come together nicely. This is like an artist working, isn't it? You want it just to be beautiful. All right. So there's a little fly sitting on top over here. And look at this. This is actually propolis. They've been putting propolis on the top of these frames. Key places of propolis. Now, I want to tell you about how I did this. And I'm going to leave you a link how I did it. But I used this little thing right here. This is a queen isolation frame holder. And so you put a frame in here by lifting the lid off. And I made a whole video and wrote an article in Bee Culture on how you do that. So it's really a cool thing, because what I did, instead of using a queen excluder, I put the queen on a frame in here down in my bottom deep, and then I added my super. Maybe it was in the second deep, but I added my super, contained her here for a week. That gave time for all the bees in this super here to draw out the wax in those 6 days and put a little nectar in here. Well, the queen is not going to be able to lay any eggs in a pool of nectar. And so by using this, it really did allow me to get these frames here drawn out really faster, and for the bees to start filling it up. So some of you wrestle with not being able to get your honey super frames drawn out, not getting any honey up there. And the worst mistake I think you can make is actually to put a bona fide queen excluder like this underneath an undrawn super, because the bees are having to squeeze through there and it's just going to take a little bit longer. And so rather than use that, isolate her here for a week while your bees can walk freely into that super and draw those out. And the proof is in the pudding. You can watch the video. I've made several videos of me doing that. You can see, watch those videos step by step. I'll leave links in the description and at the end of the video, where you can kind of get an idea of how I accomplished getting this super. It will be ready to be harvested in about another 5 days. They will be capped over in 5 days. So if you'd like to see the video where I actually went ahead and showed you guys how to use this, watch this video right here. I'll meet you over there.